ARESxGOD here, and it's time to talk about Hell's Paradise. Now, this episode was a bit cruel, just showing the island even more that pretty much characters aren't safe at all. We have a cruel fate for some of them, and it was kind of a beautiful, sad moment that we saw here, the bond between a master and a student, or a teacher, however you want to call him, and showing that somebody can see the potential in you and makes you wanna improve yourself over here, in this case with Tenza, and kind of passing on that to the next generation, but showing even more that this island and the Tensen are not to be messed with. So let's get into it and talk about it. But before that, seems next week's episode is going to be delayed. Episode 9, I think, is gonna air in June 3rd. So keep that in mind when you're waiting next week for the episode and the video, of course. This week also had Mashal being delayed. So yeah, unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. So let's get into the episode and talk about it. Now, we see a bit of a flashback. In this case, the episode is very focused on Tenza and Shion. But we see Tenza as a kid. This flashback kind of reminded me a bit of Demon Slayer and Gyotaro and their life. Kind of quite a lot of similarities between their lives. He was poor, everybody treated him like trash. His parents didn't take care of him. Everybody considered him lower than a human being. He kind of took to crime to do everything and anything to survive. Even his mentality changed a bit. He became more aggressive, more angry about everything. He even beat some of the random persons there that bumped into him, so he was very violent. But this is where we have this curious blind samurai that stops him, revealed to be Shion, one of the Asaemon here. And now back in the present, we see man, this was a bit painful, having them Nurugai and Tenza bickering. They're kind of married couple, even though they didn't marry before, and she's very pushy with the marriage there. But yeah, kind of foreshadowing a bit with what happened this episode, because you have these happy moments and then shit happens, and we have one of the Tensen showing up. Then we get again, why do they keep turning into males, man? Like, either come as a male or come as a female and stay there. But I don't know, it seems like they aren't really bound to gender in a way that we have here. I'm really curious when we get to find out more about them, because right now they're these mysterious beings that we don't really know a lot about them or their civilization, to say the least. And starts attacking, even asking them, why are you running? Insert that meme there saying it came to check because the forest was a bit too noisy, some of the monsters were dead, and apparently this Tencent doesn't like change, so very apprehensive to change to its environment and itself also, even though kind of ironic because they themselves keep changing gender. So yeah, but this is where we have Tenza actually putting up more than a fight, even throughout the episode, cutting its eyes, but of course he regenerates very easily. Now we have Tenza even more attacking, chopping its arms, even decapitating it, but they still run. They know they can't win here. The Tensa even running after them with the head tied by a plant and the neck after them. Why are you running? But at the last second they get saved by Shion throwing a sword and decapitating it completely, which still doesn't work, but gives them a bit enough time to run away, which that was a very close one, but this is not the end of their problems. Now, what I really liked was the relationship between Shion and Tenza. Even Shion went into a teacher mode, right? Hey, you should have done this like this better, giving him pointers and indications. And we find out that Shion couldn't leave the island after he took care of his criminal that he was assigned to. Find out that he was the one that killed a blonde girl, and I still want to find out did he fuck her or he didn't? He probably didn't, considering his personality, which we're gonna get to that. But he looked for a way to leave the island, which, as we know, it's not that easy because all of the Korans lead back to the island except one. But he sensed something dangerous there, so they might try again, but he didn't want to do it alone. And this is where we see a bit of his personality. Shion being very stern, following the rules, very by the book, everything, and he even threatens Nurugai, questioning Tenza, why are you protecting a criminal? And he knows the situation of Nurugai, of all of the criminals, he memorized everything about her, so he's very strict, to say the least. Or he kind of gives that appearance, but he's more than fair here, because we have Tenzin pleading with him, knowing he's a good person, making him understand he sees some potential in Nurugai. Kind of unseen potential is the theme of this episode, and he wants to protect her, which Shion agrees with one condition: I'm gonna stand down for now until the clan is threatened, the reputation of the clan, or the criminal does something wrong. But he treats the girl very nicely, even when Nurugai called him master, telling her, hey, don't call me master, I didn't teach you anything there. But before they can discuss a bit further, the Tencent shows up, but Shion is able to drag them away, save them instantly, but he gets wounded. He kind of still survived that. Even the Tencent was a bit shocked, saying, I thought I ripped your throat out, but he still was bleeding from the neck there, but he didn't die instantly. So Shion is more than capable. But the Tencent got angry, even willing to give up their potential of becoming Tan, saying you have to be alive to become Tan, kind of like their source of power. What we find out last episode, I'm going to kill you. Now, this is where we have Tenza kind of being a bit aggressive, starts attacking, slashing there, but he gets his body punctured, like complete holes in his body. So yeah, there was no surviving after that. Even if the fight ended here, I don't know how they would have been able to treat him on the island, unless there's some magical ninjutsu healing skill, maybe if they found elixir, but he was still hanging in there. But before we get to the full fight, we see a bit more of the flashback, the past, with him questioning him, why did you take me in? And we find out slowly more about Shion. Also, he wanted to help people, see the potential in them, teaching him, hey, maybe right now you don't need this source skill, but maybe in the future when you're gonna find something to protect, and he found something with Nurugai, you're going to need these skills. But we see how much of a complex Tensa also had, with everybody putting him down his entire life, considering his situation, everything that happened in the past, how he changed because of that. It stays with you. We've all had some things that stay with us from the past, something that happened, maybe something that we did that we regret. It always stays with you, and in this case also for Tenza. But the meeting was probably fate, having them together, Shion and Tenza, even more after what we find out here when Tenza wanted to quit, but Shion didn't want to let go so easily, telling him, hey, I'll agree to that, you can do whatever you want if you land one single blow on me any time. Now we finally have, I'm glad, I hope we're gonna get more flashbacks, because we see Aizen, the guy with the eye patch, he finally did something useful. Ever since I saw him in the first few episodes, how he treated Sagiri, how he died, how he allowed Toma to infiltrate the Asaemon, and then he died to the giant. Now he finally did something useful in the past, of course. Now he's dead in the present. He sees Tenzen, takes Tenzen with him for a walk, and shows him something very important about Shion. The grave of a previous student that unfortunately died. But the way he died is very important. Teshin was his name. And we see another flashbacks within a flashback inserted on Inception meme here. Shion doing his job as an assignment to execute a criminal. It was very obvious who was going to be that criminal. Of course, it was Teshin. He took to crime after he left the dojo. He kind of had he was very similar to Tenzen, but at the same time, Shion didn't push him as much, didn't try to stick with him as much. He was more focused on himself than on being a teacher or a master, however you wanna call him. And that's why Teshin took off. He blames himself also. Could he have stopped him if he did the same thing that he did right now for Tenzen? Maybe, but you never know. But shows that even masters, mentors always have some deep regret. Everybody has that, and them being in this situation was a cruel twist of fate here. He still does his job. He's very strict, as we find out about him, but that changed him, made him pay more attention, made him want to help people more, focus on teaching them more, seeing the potential in them. And this is why I'm saying that Aizen finally did something good with that walk, finally something useful over here. But back in the first present flashback, we have Tenza finally having some motivation after what he found out. He goes back to Shion. They spar a bit, which makes it even more painful, because we see it in the present. Tenza dying but still being very motivated. He pushes himself, I gotta give him credit there, just pushing through all of the pain in his final moments. Just muda Jojo there, punching that Tencent quite a lot, giving it his all to try and give them time to run, especially thinking of Nurugai. He wanted to tell, hey, run, but he couldn't speak. His throat was also very wounded. Shion kind of having a very similar problem. Shion almost wanted to attack, but Tenza gargles up. He didn't even really speak. He gargled some blood on the surface, but Shion understood what he had to do in that moment there, and takes Nurugai and runs off. Meanwhile, Tenzen stays behind to keep the Tenzen still fighting there and thinking of what could have been the potential, the life he could have had with Nurugai. But unfortunately he dies, which yeah, this anime pretty much nobody's safe. I think maybe 3 characters are safe. I'm not sure about that. Gabi, Sagiri, and Yuzuriha. I don't know, I hope she's, but I kind of have a feeling like they're the 3 main characters. Pretty much everybody else doesn't seem to be safe here, and maybe Nurugai now, but I don't know about Nurugai. We're gonna have to see. So yeah, it's gonna be one of those series here. Gotta give him a lot of credit to Tenza, what he did. He sacrificed himself to save Nurugai and his own master, considering how he was when he was a kid and the man he became right now. And even Shion, right after they run away with Nurugai, why are you leaving him behind? Why aren't you going after him? You're his master. No, he saw him like a brother and chose to respect the sacrifice he had there. And yeah, very painful, but Shion wants his revenge, but knowing they can't defeat that monster they have right now, which makes me think quite a lot, how are they gonna beat them, because they keep regenerating. I don't think even Gabimaru can beat one of them. Yuzuriha can beat, Sagiri can beat, because yeah, you cut them. I don't know, maybe the burning, since they seem to be plant, maybe if you burn them they can't regenerate, I don't know. Or maybe the girl May, when she threw a punch at Gabi, maybe we're gonna have them learn some of this Tan power they have right now. We're gonna have to see, but as things stand right now, they have no chance of beating them. And we see a bit of the conclusion in the past with the flashback when Tenza finally landed the hit for the deal between him and Shion, and he decides to stay and learn, and we know where all of that leads. So he became a very, very honorable man. Now, I'm really curious what's gonna happen into the next episodes with the series also. Keep in mind, it seems like the next week's episode 9, is going to be delayed. We're probably gonna see it only on June 3rd, but yeah, I don't know, I'm excited about it, but we're gonna have to wait a bit more. And I don't know, I don't think they're gonna be able to solve everything right now in just season 1, which I hope there's going to be a season 2 announcement, but we're gonna talk about that when we get closer to the end of the series. So let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about Tenzen, Shion, Nurugai, and what do you think, Tenza, my bad, and the Tenzen also. What do you think so far of the series? So I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot. You guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Hell's Paradise. Make sure to check out the podcast, Because Anime, link in the description. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye.